So just to start this off straight up, I had already recorded this entire video, the entire from start to finish. It was all done. It was all edited, pretty much cut and put together. Then I realized that it sounds like fucking garbage because it's like my scripts are made in the moment, right? When I feel okay, I'm gonna speak like this, I'm gonna speak like this, and I'm gonna deliver this message this way. It's not gonna fucking work because I wrote that script a fucking long time ago. And then I realized I'm working on a tight fucking schedule. I don't have time to rewrite the script. So anything you hear, like in these next, 50 minutes, something like that, is gonna be completely off the cuff. I might get things wrong, you know. I might slur some words together because my pronunciation isn't in tip top shape. I'll say, right. I've been doing a lot of other things, so I'm working on a tight schedule, and I will not lie to you about what this video is. I'm gonna shit on a bunch of people. Pretty much everyone that I fucking dislike that are pretty common in the community. So for the most part, you're gonna recognize exactly what type of person I'm talking about. It'll be, cathartic for a lot of you, including myself. So yeah, anyways, you might hear me slur some words together because my pronunciation isn't that tip-top right now. You're gonna hear me kind of rush through sentences, probably. I mean, there's nothing I can do about that. I gotta hurry the fuck up. Besides that, enjoy the video. Because I know that I'll enjoy making it for what it's worth. Again, I'm not gonna lie to you what this video is gonna be about. You probably already know, depending on what the title is, but straight up, I'm gonna be shitting on a lot of people that I don't fucking like, and I don't like that they exist, and I don't like that they're encouraged to exist, stuff like that. If you don't like it, fuck yourself. To be honest, I don't have the fucking time to like argue with you and all that stuff. You don't like it, you don't fucking like it. Just keep in mind, you're not gonna change my fucking mind on a lot of these things. I know what I like, I know what I dislike, and I dislike a lot of you, honestly. So, some disclaimers first. One, you're gonna hear me use the word loser a lot. I know it's gonna get repetitive, and I'm sorry, but while watching the video, you will understand that loser is the most accurate way of describing a lot of the people I'm gonna talk about. If you hear me talk about a specific group of people, let's say waifu over meta players, because I'm gonna mention them, and I say, these people act like this and that, and they're annoying. If you consider yourself a part of the group I'm talking about, but you don't act like what I'm describing, then I'm not talking about you. I'm gonna try my best to clearly describe what behavior I'm talking about so there's no confusion, but there's bound to be some confusion. Just keep in mind, I will describe the behavior I'm talking about. If you don't behave that way, then I'm not talking about you. All right, another one. I've always tried my best to respond to comments because I believe that if I want other people to talk to the state of the game. So this next little tip of mine, this next little disclaimer of mine was gonna be that, I can't answer your comments because there's a lot of them and I can't keep up. That's a fucking lie. Whatever you comment on this one, I'm not gonna answer for shit, quite honestly and respectfully, because I don't have the fucking time for that. Of course, feel free to leave down there and like leave me, I don't know, racial slurs or whatever. But I mean, don't do that. That'll get you fucking banned. Comment, but don't expect a response like I have with my other videos. Because for the most part, a lot of those comments I have responded to, and chances are that whatever you're gonna say, I've already answered over there. And if you're curious, of course, you can go check for yourself. Either way, I don't have the time to respond to a lot of comments or any comments at all. I barely have time to record. Just keep that in mind, please. I've seen people comment, bro, it's not that serious, or who cares, it's just a game on other videos of mine. And I want to take care of that right now, really kind of squash that thing so I don't have to waste my fucking time. I know that the people saying this shit, you're like 12, right? And not caring is cool to you and all that. But with time, you'll learn that caring is not only okay, but also one of the greatest signs of respect that you can give anything or anyone. You might not care now, but you will in the future. If not for this, then something else. You'll come around. Oh yeah. I've had a few people here and there tell me that I should be a bit more nice, right? In like the way that I'm referring to people and the way that I'm speaking. And my response to that is no. N-A-O, no. I think what a lot of people fail to understand is that no matter what way I present information, I could be a fucking angel about it. People in this community, quote unquote, will hear what they want to hear. They can, have, and will twist my words to fit this image of me they have in their head. I can't do anything about that. The best thing I can do is present you with information as clearly as possible to avoid confusion from those of you who actually care. Because the people that don't care, like I said, they're not gonna care about which way or how I deliver the information. They don't care in the first place. But for you, for those of you who give a fuck, I mean, I need to give you the information without giving you any more shit. Those who are willing to hear me out will do so, and those who would rather bury their head in the sand will do so regardless of my tone. So there's no point in me wasting my time over that, you know? Whether you agree or disagree with what I say, like or dislike Genshin, think gacha is good or bad, it doesn't matter where you stand, because quite honestly, I don't give a shit. If you are not willing to listen and objectively look at the situation in front of you, then I don't fucking want you here. You're the type of person I hate the most, and exactly the type of person I'm trying to get rid of. And honestly, you're the type of person I'm gonna make fun of in this fucking video. With all that out of the way, I know that this is a very long video, so use the chapters below to get to what you want to see. Just keep in mind that you will miss out on details here and there if you skip too much. We good? That I guess. This is a video I debated making for a long time, pretty much ever since my first long Genshin video. I finally decided to just do it because reasons that I will deliver either at the end of this video or in like some other fucking short YouTube video, be like a minute or two. Point is, I don't have that much time, and I really just need to get this shit off my chest. So, a little backstory, real quick. Trust me, it'll take a little while, but it's important. When I made my first long Genshin video, in order to understand what community sentiments were and what I needed to touch on, I had to look into communities on Reddit, Twitter, YouTube, Hoyo Lab, anywhere that I could think of that could harbor a Genshin community. I stopped by, at the very least, and looked through posts in order to understand what the general community mentality was. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. That was a fucking mistake. Not the video itself, right? But digging through so much brain-numbing shit near daily over the course of 2 months was the worst thing I've ever done to myself, ever. But the video had to be done, so I kept going. Honestly, without that, I wouldn't have been able to find all those goofy comments to make fun of, so maybe it wasn't the worst. After I did all that for the video, I immediately stopped interacting with anything Genshin related that wasn't the game. Even then, I started playing Genshin less and less until Sumeru, and then Sumeru just fucking killed my hype for the game. Posts on social media, comments on YouTube or Reddit, I completely stopped looking at them because I believe, even if it seems like I'm exaggerating, that they would have hurt my mental health to the point of no fucking return. I felt like it would fry my damn brain. When I say mind-numbing, I fucking mean it. I've recently gone through that same situation with my Dehya video because I needed to know what people were thinking about her before, during, and after release. It legitimately hurt my fucking brain to see so many people defending the state she was in and demanding that people who were calling her bad or asking for buffs to shut up because they didn't want to see the negativity. I even saw some people claiming that everyone just didn't know how to play her and she was meant to be a tank, so building her as a damage dealer was wrong. I also saw people saying that she was a great character and if you thought she was bad, to just get good at the game, or saying that people who care about her strength are just meta slaves. Because of this whole situation, I've decided to step away from the community again. And plus, by now, since it's like 2 months since I wrote this fucking script, I've been stepped away from the community for the most part. Before I fully fuck off though, because like I said, I got places to be, I want to point out and mock every fucking piece of shit that I could find. I failed to do this before, and those thoughts just kept on piling up. I'm not gonna make that same mistake again. Your favorite Genshin characters aren't real. And honestly, that title is fucking wrong. This entire section is pretty much, I fucking hate self-inserters. This is one point that I find especially sad. Some people in this community get extremely defensive when one of their favorite characters gets called weak, is criticized, or talked about negatively in any manner. You know, initially, I didn't want to rip into these people so much because, I mean, it's sad, and I kind of feel bad for them. It makes me feel kind of icky. But, fuck you. These types of people, the ones I'm talking about, the self-inserters, the people get real fucking defensive, they have low self-esteem. They're the type to use the Traveler, mostly Aether, to self-insert and then ship the Traveler with whoever they find attractive and pretend in their head that it's them. They are the reason why Hoyo doesn't give Traveler more lines. More lines would give the character more personality, depth, and character, which in turn would make it harder for these people to self-insert. You ever wonder why there's so much art depicting the Traveler? Again, mostly Aether, although I'm completely fucking sure that it happens with Lumine as well. In a harem situation, it's because people are self-inserting and fantasizing. This is probably also the reason why Lumine doesn't get shown as much as Aether in event and promotional material. They know what character is most popular, and they know what crowd they're appealing to. On top of that, you have the hangout events that are clearly dating sims, and stuff like the friendship level that are meant to help lonely, desperate people develop a parasocial relationship with the characters in the game. So for those of you who want more LGBT representation or characters with different designs that aren't thin male/female model 1, 2, or 3, you're shit out of luck. Even if Hoyo wasn't under the control of the CCP, I very highly doubt they would actually bother to portray any relationship that isn't heterosexual, because the crowd they really want playing their games is made up of greasy, lonely, self-inserting losers who will call these characters their waifu and buy merch and microtransactions without thinking. So, with that little section out of the way, I need to clarify. Please don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not saying that there isn't any gay, like, fucking subtext. That's completely wrong. It goes beyond subtext, but that's besides the point. Even though the story has its pacing issues, clearly the writers at Hoyoverse are good at what they do and know exactly what they're doing. I'm not trying to insult their talent or the quality of their work, and I'm not trying to say that they have never hinted, quote unquote, at queer characters. I mean, if it was up to the writers at Hoyoverse, then the Honkai Impact desktop icon would just be a lesbian flag. What I'm saying is that Hoyo, even if the writers do hint at a lot of fruity things, would never be able to confirm those relationships if they wanted due to CCP control, and even if they could, they probably wouldn't because they want that easy loser money. Of course, I would love to be wrong about that. You never know what the future holds, right? Same goes for having characters of different shapes and sizes. Hoyo can diversify the physical build of their characters, but they won't because these thin, more traditionally attractive characters will make them the most money. From who again? The greasy, lonely, desperate, self-inserting losers who will jerk off to these characters, buy merch of them, and buy primals for their constellations and their signature weapon plus duplicates. Now, I get it. A lot of you might think that I'm thinking too much. It's not that deep. So, here's the top brass of Hoyoverse, formerly Mihoyo, describing who they make their games for and why.
现场的创业前辈，你们好，我是来自上海交通大学米哈游创业团队的刘伟。我们团队的创业项目是虚拟偶像计划。我们的核心产品是萌系移动游戏。所谓萌系移动游戏，是指在手机和平板电脑上玩的，以萌系动漫人物为主角，主角一般为甜美可爱的美少女设定的动漫游戏。这种类型的游戏一般深受宅男的喜爱，所以我们的最核心用户是宅男。我们自己也是宅男，所以我们深刻理解宅男的需求。其实宅男是一群很好、很善良、很有爱却又很可怜的人，他们内心有着强烈的跟异性交流的需求，却因为巨大的心理压力不敢行动。因此，宅男一般都是属于这种内心很苦恼、很孤单、很寂寞的人。我们就是要解决宅男的这种需求。所以，我们游戏的最大特点是，除了保证游戏的好玩性之外，我们更注重通过游戏塑造玩家喜欢的虚拟角色，打造一个虚拟偶像的概念。我们知道，要打造一个虚拟偶像，这需要一个漫长的过程。因此，我们是以苹果 iOS 和 Android 的移动游戏作为一个切入点，投放以萌系少女为主题的系列游戏，让宅男能够享受随时随地被拯救的感觉。然后，我们的梦想是让每一个宅男都拥有一个得以精神寄托的虚拟偶像，从此告别孤单跟寂寞。然后我们游戏的话有3个显著的特点，第一点是我们都比较轻松有趣，容易上手，因为宅男已经承受了很巨大的心理压力了，我们希望他们能够很简单的玩游戏，能够享受随时随地都能够被拯救的感觉。第二个是我们的游戏都是针对智能手机和平板设备这种触摸设备来设计的，就是给一个玩家一个独特的游戏体验和一个情感诉求。比如说我们的好感度系统就是利用这个触摸的特性。第3点也是我们游戏最大的一个特点，就是我们的游戏都会有一个非常萌的女性角色，就是说我们的游戏不但要好玩，而且还要有妹子。
A handful of aspects in the game are meant to hook lonely, desperate losers, and they're succeeding. So, with that being said, let me show you something I came across, and this one's completely out of left field. I just want to fucking shit on this guy. This post. Aether's allowed to have a harem full of men, but God forbid it's women. Genshin fandom is so hypocritical, I hate them all. Please, please, for fuck's sake, Do not fucking delude yourself into thinking that straight ships or heterosexual anything is oppressed. What the fuck is wrong with you? To make it even worse, it's one person, are unironically using the term heterophobic. Ain't that fucking crazy? Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention this before, but the self-inserters, whenever they cannot ship a certain character with, the fuck is that dickhead's name? Aether. Whenever they cannot ship, let's say, Shogun, right? Raiden Shogun. Whenever they cannot ship any character, really, they will completely mischaracterize that entire fucking character story just to make that character more shippable with Aether, which, like, again, like I said, in their mind, it's them. So just keep that in mind. Anyways, back to this guy. Then you have this loser over here RPing like he's in a fucking war zone or some shit. And if you look at the replies to this, look at that. Homophobia. Who would have thought? Nahida profile pic? Surely nothing weird is going on in this guy's account. Surely. By the way, he's a Kukaracha and Nahida shipper, by the way. And then these two fucking losers, the Nahida guy and the Kazuha self-inserter, agree that they like to spite Raiden and Yae shippers. Self-insert over here also says he likes Kazuha and A as a ship to spite Kukaracha and Kazuha shippers. Ain't that fucking weird? He seems to dislike these two gay ships a lot. Homophobia? Nah. I mean, self-inserter seems to be very well adjusted. What do you think he meant by, I'm on your side, by the way? Probably nothing, right? You know what? I'm throwing a lot of dirt on this fucking loser's name. Let's see what he's doing. All right, let's check his account out. Oh, he's retweeting weird transphobic garbage. Hey, maybe he's just a one-off, you know? I'm sure he's a great guy. Oh, look at that. Another one. I've scrolled through this degenerate's Twitter for like 10 minutes now, and I'm like 90% sure he's making these oddly specific scenarios up in his head to serve as a fantasy, and he's using Kazuha to self-insert or RP. Ironically, this guy replied to a different degenerate saying that a good portion of Yuri fans are insecure guys. Honestly, bro, I don't think Yuri fans are the insecure ones here. Just FYI, you know, I'm gonna have to hit you with them. Actually, the Yuri demographic is actually incredibly diverse in terms of gender identity, sexual orientation, and everything in between. So it's weird to just say that a good portion is insecure guys. It feels like projection more than anything. Maybe all the desperate attempts to self-insert in order to feel the imaginary warmth of a fake female character finally got to his head and he's losing it. Like I said before, I don't think Yuri fans are the insecure ones here. A homophobe, a transphobe, and a self-inserter. What a fucking guy. This one came out of nowhere. I'm not gonna lie. When I was writing the script, a tweet kind of crossed my timeline or whatever. And his reply was fucking crazy. I will say, the person needs to take their fucking meds. So, if you've ever seen one of those old videos, well, they're not that old. It's like 12, 13 years, where people would like trace a triangle on something, like anywhere really, and then they would play the X-Files theme afterwards. Then think of everything this person is saying as that, but they're saying it not as a joke. They're like completely fucking serious. Honestly, I'm not even sure if I should be like mocking this person, you know? Because they're saying some crazy shit. And I'm not 100% on whether they're 100%. You know, I'm not even going to fucking think about it. It's funny. It's goofy. I'm going to leave the link in the description because this is the type of shit you need to see for yourself. And honestly, I want you to look at it yourself so you know that I'm not fucking with you. It'll give you a giggle, at least. So, white knights. First off, who isn't a white knight? Most people, actually. If you ever see someone going, yeah, this monetization is pretty bad, but I really like the game and I want to continue playing it, so I try my best to ignore it. Those people aren't white knights. If you see someone saying, I like the game, that's not a white knight, because I've seen those people get shit on a lot and they don't fucking deserve it. The people I just mentioned are just players. Now, if you see someone going, predatory? Nuh-uh, the game is free, so just don't spend. I can't believe you're so ungrateful and entitled. Those people, those are white knights. You can fucking make fun of them. Who gives a shit? These pathetic excuses for consumers are the reason why the game and its developers are in their current state. They are the reason why Hoyo won't listen to the community, because they know some pathetic fucking loser is going to fight for them for free. They know that these degenerates who use liking Genshin as a replacement for a life and personality will fight tooth and nail to defend their waifus. These fucking losers are the type who will give Hoyo money regardless of the quality of the character or the current state of the game or the lack of developer communication. These people are lapdogs. They'll sit, stay, roll over at the snap of a finger, and they won't even fucking think about it. That's why Hoyo caters to them with everything I've mentioned. These fucking losers are the reason why Hoyo can continue to treat the community like trash. Because no matter what they do, these people will exist and they will give Hoyo money. These people are a cancer to every single community they're a part of, and things won't change as long as their mentality spreads and is applauded. God forbid poor indie company Hoyoverse give customers a good product and treat their community with respect. I've said it before and I'll say it again. White knights and bootlickers are the types who will let you bang their significant other as long as you let them watch. Their existence is pathetic and depressing. Main character syndrome. This shit runs rampant through this community. When I say Genshin Impact takes advantage of vulnerable people and is predatory, I always see the same type of person going, "Nuh-uh," or, I've never had problems with controlling myself, so this isn't a problem at all. Listen, you fucking loser. There are other people out there. They respond to situations differently than you. They have different experiences with the game because they aren't you. Just because the manipulative tactics the game uses don't affect you doesn't mean they don't affect someone else. Someone who doesn't deserve to be taken advantage of. Oh, and this is one of my favorites, by the way. How is the game predatory? Just don't spend. If you think like this, then make sure to listen up. Please, 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 please. I'll even talk slowly for you so you can process what I'm saying since you're too fucking stupid to understand if I just tell you outright. If the solution to any problem was as simple as just do this or just do that, then there wouldn't be a problem to begin with. Go tell an alcoholic to just stop drinking. Go tell a drug addict to just stop doing drugs. Sounds pretty fucking stupid, right? Yes, it does. Good. You saw the light. Congrats, dumb fuck. Just because something isn't a problem for you doesn't mean it isn't a problem for someone else. Snap the fuck out of it. You're not the center of the fucking universe. Also, let me get this out of the way. Whenever you talk about Genshin being predatory, people love to go, well, actually, you don't have to spend, so just don't spend. The game isn't predatory, people are just idiots. Why do you brainwashed fucking clowns always default to just blaming the person being manipulated? You think Hoyo's free of blame here? You think Hoyo's run by angels or some shit? Come on, open your fucking eyes and look at what's in front of you. Hoyo preys on people who are vulnerable. Yes, a certain amount of responsibility has to fall on the consumer because at the end of the day, they chose to engage with the product. Of course, it's only fair. But a lot more of that responsibility falls on Hoyo for facilitating and participating in this manipulative and predatory behavior. There's fault on both Hoyo and the consumer, but for some reason, I always see the blame thrown exclusively towards the average person and not the billion-dollar company. Hoyo is at fault here too. I would even argue that they shouldered the majority of the blame. Giving up. How do I even go about this one? So, this is a point I do legitimately understand to a certain extent, right? Recently, with the Dehya situation, I've seen a lot of people saying, stop complaining and just accept it. Hoyo hasn't done anything for characters in the past besides Zhongli, so just let it go. And there is truth to that. But if you want things to change, which you should, then you should do something. Doing nothing is the exact reason why we're in this mess. Even if you decide to actually do something, chances are nothing will change. It sucks. Trust me. I fucking know. But if you don't like how things are, if you want things to change, if you want things to improve, then why do nothing? I get that in the grand scheme of things, a few hundred people here and there complaining will more than likely do nothing, but there's always a chance. So why discourage them? Why tell the few people in this community who give a shit and bother to take action to just let it go or to just accept it? Listen, it's your choice whether you want to do something or not, but if you will do nothing, then why get in the way of people who will? What the fuck is the point? What do you gain from that? Just stay out of the way of people who demand more. Yeah, right? If people want better treatment, if people want a better quality of life improvements, which again, they're in their complete fucking right to do so, or they're in their complete right to want, just stay out of their way. So, now I get to one of the most satisfying sections of this fucking video, I'm not gonna lie. So, who's up next on the chopping block? Waifu over meta players. Listen, I'm gonna say right off the bat, I have seen a lot of people who claim to be waifu over meta who are completely just okay people, right? They don't get into arguments with anyone. They don't fight with anyone. They don't get real fucking pissy for no reason, right? They're completely normal players. They just mind their own business. I'm not talking about them. with all due disrespect, I always see the stupidest, most brain dead fucking statements made by people who claim to be waifu over meta. And they will not shut the fuck up about it. It's like their whole fucking personality. Do you think Dehya is bad? Wrong. You just don't know how to build her and are completely overreacting. She's actually amazing. Just look at the C0 showcase on TikTok where the person has C6 Mona, C4 Nahida, and Kazuha with constellations and his 5-star signature weapon. Dehya is amazing. Do you care about any numbers in the game? Well, you shouldn't, because the game is easy, and if you do care about numbers, then you're just a meta slave. These people are so unbelievably fucking insufferable that I would not be surprised if they've never communicated with another human being in their entire fucking life. I always hear the waifu over meta crowd bitching and moaning over what they call meta players being mean, harassing them, and ruining the community, but I have never, not even once, seen this quote-unquote harassment of casual or waifu over meta players. It legitimately feels like people are just making shit up in their own head and just going with it. The people that I have seen be the most combative, stuck up, and douchey are the waifu over meta players. You cannot make a single criticism regarding strength or functionality of a character in this community without these fucking dickheads going, actually, the game is easy, so play whoever you want. They are in the comment section of every single video that talks about any sort of in-depth information on the game. They are incredibly annoying, and there are so many of them. I don't even know where the fuck they came from. So, until I see otherwise, the waifu over meta crowd will always be the biggest fucking joke I have ever encountered, and it's not even close. Okay, so, next part is making shit up. How did I even encounter this one? I don't know where I found it. It's like right now I completely fucking forgot. It's been months. So this is just the Reddit post, whatever, right? This is the biggest load of shit I've ever seen. This is a prime example of people wanting so desperately to feel special and different and better than someone else that they just start making shit up. I personally haven't seen this whole thing of people calling Dehya good being harassed, but I'm absolutely sure it has happened. How many times or how often? I can't fucking say. But I'm sure, completely sure, that it has happened at some point. There is absolutely lots of negativity and disappointment going around, but to go as far as to say that Dehya mains is saying to harass voice actors? Fucking where, bozo? Where the fuck are you seeing this shit? Your dreams? You having fucking visions? Reading tea leaves? Got a crystal ball? Where did you see this, you delusional fucking weirdo? You know, spoiler alert, they didn't fucking see it anywhere. They made it up. Some of us want to move forward rather than fight an uphill battle with Hoyo. Stay fucking losing, bitch boy. Because of this sorry-ass attitude, Hoyo has and will continue to get away with treating their community like shit. You are part of the problem. Your mentality and everyone who shares it are the reason why you are nothing but a joke to everyone who looks in your direction. As long as your mentality exists, nothing will change. Please understand this. You're a fucking doormat. It's so toxic on Dehya mains that artists are posting their art somewhere else so it gets seen so they don't get bombarded by negativity. Again, fucking where? What is the point of just making shit up? What do you gain from it besides looking like a fucking idiot? Is this the negativity you're talking about? You can't be this fucking dumb, right? This place fits much more of what I want to see. Chill discussions, not toxicity. You mean this group of circle-jerking weirdos who claim to see things no one else can see in her kit? This weird group of people who claim Dehya is actually a great character. People are just dumb and they're not building her right. Really? This mentality of I'm special, I can see that Dehya is amazing, and no one else can see it because they're dumb and I'm not, is fucking sad. You don't want chill discussions. You want a place where you can confirm your own bias like the loser you are. Get a grip. By the way, these people say that they want chill discussions and no toxicity, but they downvote and bury the guy who is making the most sense in this entire thread. So, I mean, ask yourself, do they really want discussions? Of course not. They're lying to themselves, but don't let them lie to you. They're just a bunch of fucking losers. If you don't believe what I'm saying about Dehya mains, by all means, go take a look yourself. Go find the burying of art and bombardment of negativity on artists that this person is talking about. Go find where Dehya mains are telling people to harass the voice actors. Go find the toxicity this person is talking about. Don't let me stop you, and don't take my word for it. Check it out for yourself. Go and find what these people are running their mouth about. I will say straight up, I kept an eye on the Dehya mains Reddit since February 27th? Late February, right? Up until pretty much the end of March, something like that. Pretty much a week or two after her banner left. And I didn't see any of the things these people are talking about. But I'm also not going to act like I'm a daily Reddit user, though. So it's very likely that I've missed something. So again, feel free to check for yourself. Echochamber. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, the people in this community will hear what they want to hear. You can give them as much information as you want. It's not gonna fucking matter because the people who are watching this shit have already made up their mind before they've even heard you speak. In the little while that I've been looking through the community recently, last 3 weeks or so, I've seen a lot of hate directed towards a bunch of different people. A chunk of that hate towards people who are more critical towards the game, as you would expect, and the rest towards number crunchers, which I actually recently learned are called theory crafters. Who would have thunk, right? One of the main people this community has targeted is a content creator called Jeff. I saw a bunch of stuff about how he hates Nilu for no reason, how his gameplay is poor, and how he downplays good units to prevent people from spending, so I checked him out. I stopped by his streams and I watched his videos, and I'll tell you straight up, I don't know what the fuck everyone's talking about. I've watched the Nilu video people shit on so much and saw nothing wrong with it besides maybe seeming a bit too negative. But even then, that negativity was never there to an extent where it would be a problem or anything. So I don't get what the issue is. I even saw Jeff talk about the video and clear things up while he was on stream, and I saw nothing wrong. So again, I don't get what the issue is. He shows numbers, scenarios where the character excels and underperforms, their strengths and weaknesses. On top of that, mostly objective evidence to everything he says. In the Nilu video, his conclusion was, Nilu is okay, so pull her if you want her. If you want to maximize her potential, you should wait for Nahida and pull Nilu on her rerun. She does great in scenarios that require AoE damage and falls off in scenarios where high single target damage is necessary. He mentions that he has a negative outlook on her, but also says that yes, there are scenarios where she is good and people will like her. He, from my perspective, is as no bullshit as they come, and I question whether the people saying these things about him actually watch him or not. So far, it doesn't seem like they do. It looks like they're content with just shitting on a guy without actually having proof of the things they say about him. Something you'll come to learn when interacting with this community, quote unquote, is that no matter how much time and effort you put into articulating and expanding on your points, you will always be met by people who will claim that they know better. They don't care what you have to say about the state of the game or strength of a character. They don't care how much information or proof you have about the things you're saying. They don't care because you are insulting their comfort character. I don't even know what the fuck that is. And are ruining or taking the fun out of the game by talking about all these numbers and information. This attitude of, I don't care what you say because it's not what I want to hear, is worryingly pathetic, but it's also extremely common in this quote-unquote community. I guess the better word for it is scary. Their thought process is scary. They proclaim their ignorance openly, and somehow they just don't fucking see it. And neither do the people around them. No, they don't get called out. These people will kill this game, or at best, keep the game in this current state of fucking the player over at every possible turn, but they're too ignorant to realize it. Before I move on from Jeff and Echochamber, I wanted to talk about a few more things people say about him. I have seen people consistently say that he's too political, calling him an SJW snowflake with politically correct opinions. And ain't it fucking ironic? People playing Genshin calling other people snowflakes? Come on, listen, don't fucking lie to yourself, all right? You're nothing special. The only times I've seen him get political is two different instances where he defended trans people against unjust hatred and argued that they should be respected and allowed to exist like any other human being, instead of treated like shit. It should be pretty fucking obvious by now. This isn't politics. This is about basic human rights and treating everyone respectfully and equally, regardless of the way they identify. If you walk around with this mentality, why? And be honest, what's the point? Do you think you're a tough guy or some shit? A real alpha, a real manly man, is that it? A real alpha playing Genshin? For fuck's sake, really? You're not like those snowflakes, right? Nah, you're different. You're special, right? Genshin player? Come on, sit down, squirt. Let me get you to understand a few things. You're nothing, really. Well, I mean, I don't really mean that. You're a joke, at best. The shit that comes out of your mouth and your entire existence, pretty much, serves as entertainment. You are something for people like me to point and laugh at. Of course, things can be different. You just need to be willing to get out of the bubble you've placed yourself in. But hey, if you really want to continue being an embarrassment, then go ahead. Honestly, I'm not one to kink shame, you know what I'm saying? Before you get all pissy though, let me give you a few tips that'll help you through life. Free of charge too. You don't have to thank me either. Usually, the person calling people snowflakes is the biggest, most insecure pussy in the fucking room. Possibly one of the biggest, most insecure pussies you'll ever meet. They'll walk around saying, everyone is too sensitive these days, and ironically, they're the ones most easily offended. I mean, for fuck's sake, they'll see a rainbow and they'll fucking shit their pants. Being anti-SJW and anti-woke isn't a personality trait or a replacement for a personality. It's the attitude of insecure, edgy losers who desperately want to feel big and strong, so they put people down. It's not 2016 anymore, man. Let go of that shit. First you spew all of this garbage, and then you'll start buying Twitter courses on how to talk to women. It's a slippery slope. That's all I'm saying. For those of you who are curious, this entire section that I just went through was never meant to be in the video. I was going to ignore the whole SJW and snowflake stuff because it had nothing to do with me. But then I saw this comment on my Dehya video. I've read through it already, and I figured I should put my foot down to avoid confusion in the future. So, to the person who wrote this comment and the people who agreed with them, which was unfortunately 2 more people, or maybe they liked their own fucking comment. People like this are that fucking pathetic anyways. Mommy and daddy decided they didn't want to do their fucking job and raise an accepting or caring person. Or, unfortunately, maybe they did. In that case, I feel real fucking bad that they had to raise such a worthless piece of shit of a fucking kid. I don't know if anyone will watch this video, much less someone that is trans or part of the LGBTQ in general, really. But in the case that you are a part of that and are seeing this, then I want you to understand that the people who will shit on you for being gay or trans because it doesn't fit their traditional values are more insecure with their own identity and sexuality than anyone you'll ever meet. At the end of the day, right, you had the balls to come out. They decided to cower away and start self-hating. You're a bigger person than they'll ever be. Don't believe me if you don't want to, but at least believe young Nudie. Yo, Nudie, what do you think about all these trans and homophobes? Probably closeted, right?
Oh yeah, boy, these niggas gay. I'm telling you now, I think you're gay. I don't give a fuck who you is or how you feel about it. I think you're gay. Nudie think you're gay. Slimeball think you are gay.
Nudie speaks and we listen. Who are we to deny what he says? Anyways, a lot of the people who will spew hate at you like to act big and tough and like they're acting on science, but they're the stupidest fucking people you'll ever meet. I've personally seen some of them act like they're hard gangsters, and I'm sure you've seen them too. They're not that uncommon. Please, they don't have the balls to pick up a gun. They don't have the balls to pull the trigger. They're a bunch of fucking jokes. Laugh at them. I've seen these insecure pieces of shit walk around and act like they're the peak of masculinity. But even with all that masculinity they claim to have, they're still completely unable to figure out how to talk to women without the help of an online course, or how to deal with their crippling insecurity and low self-esteem. Laugh at them. That's all they're good for. Picking teams. This should be a short one. So, for some reason, I've seen people in this community, quote unquote, again, say in comments they leave or in posts on social media that they are, quote unquote, waifu over meta or they're meta players. I've never seen anybody call themselves a meta player. Wait, I have seen fucking a shit ton of people call themselves waifu over meta time and time again. But I've legitimately never seen people call themselves meta players. Waifu over meta players created the meta player label so that they could invalidate the arguments and opinions of people who say things they disagree with. I'm sorry if this is something that is widely known or just like real fucking obvious. I just never noticed until now. Whatever the case, please, when you play the game or do anything in life really, do not feel the need to just label yourself as something or pick a side. There are different perspectives to everything, and you should properly evaluate what you stand for. There are exceptions, but for the most part, keep an open mind. Also, I'm not sure where this comes from, but I've seen for a long time now that some people will leave a comment or something, right? And in that comment, they feel the need to justify why, like, they pull a character. You don't need to justify your actions to anyone, especially people online who you do not know. If you really want a character, and you know what you're gonna get, then just go for it if you really want to. Don't justify your actions. The little things, we're almost at the end. Fuck. I hate what Hoyo is doing, but I still really like the game and I don't want to quit. So this is something I've seen said a lot, and I used to wrestle with this idea a while back. The best thing you as a player can do is, if you have the ability to, of course, stop spending. I know that not having a welkin every time you log in is gonna suck. You won't be able to pull as much or as frequently, and it's gonna be shitty. I know. But if you want change and you don't want to quit, which is completely okay, not spending is the best thing to do, and I would argue that this is even more effective than straight up quitting. The reason quitting isn't as effective is because, unlike other games, Call of Duty for example, there is no entry fee. For Call of Duty, you need to give them $70 to just play the game. You need to give them $70 for a mediocre piece of shit copied and pasted game that has unbelievably awful maps and will sell you skins out the ass, but people swear that this time it's really good. Guys, buy the game, okay? The last 4 were garbage, but this one, this is the one. This year's game is slow and tactical. What the fuck? Imagine being such a brain-dead fucking moron that you unironically recommend people buy Modern Warfare 2. By the way, I know I've called a lot of the people in the Genshin community cuck pushovers and stuff, but man, the COD fan base is on some different shit. Straight up, they just about have you fucking beat. Yeah, just so you can visualize it, right? Where a Genshin player would watch you fuck their girl and laugh it off, then thank you, a COD player would ask you directly to bang their girl, ask for your permission to watch, and after everything's done, would schedule the next session. What a bunch of fuck... I'm getting off topic. The point is, because Genshin has no entry fee, they need to get you to buy microtransactions in order to turn a profit. If you do not buy their microtransactions, they're losing money if you continue to play. You don't give them money, you take up server space and infrastructure, and you get to keep playing the game you love. It's as simple as that. You don't need to quit. All you need to do is try your best to not spend. Or even just spend less, right? And that'll be a good little compromise. No, this one's just fucking weird. When are these foreigners gonna understand that Hoyo isn't like these Western companies? Hoyo is just like every other company you can think of. Talented workers and incompetent leadership filled with greedy old fucks that seem hell-bent on mistreating their consumers, their workers, and running the company into the ground. Unfortunately, this is nothing out of the ordinary. I wanted to mention this because it's a sentiment I've seen more than a few times in this community, but in all fairness, it's present in a lot of other places. There is this not small group of people who seem to idolize Asian culture. I say Asian culture as a whole because I've seen this sort of thing for Korea, China, Thailand, the Philippines, and a fat fucking amount for, you guessed it, Japan. I don't know what to call these people. I just know that I don't like them. They seem to think that Eastern Asian countries are utopias of modern civilization when that's just not the case. No place like that exists, but they don't care. They've seen anime and they know everything there is to know about Asia. At least that's what they think. I've seen many just toss the blame at the US, and that's just not true either. I've seen this idolization of Asian culture from Russians, Brits, Americans, Swedes, Mexicans. A lot of people from all over the world do this, and it's pretty fucking disgusting. Hoyo isn't different or special for being in an Asian country. Our cultures may be different, but corporate structures are pretty uniform no matter where you are. Just let people enjoy things. If me talking about the problems Genshin has and criticizing the way it's monetized is enough to not allow you or someone else to enjoy the game, then you don't actually like the game. You like the idea of liking the game. If you really like the game, then you would be able to objectively look at it and accept that even though there is a lot of good, there is also a lot of bad, and you would want the game to improve from that point on. Who cares? This game is garbage anyways. I've seen people here and there say this in a bunch of different ways, but they all mean the same thing and serve the same purpose. No, Genshin is objectively not garbage. It's a solid game with a bunch of dog shit surrounding it and dragging it down. If you are not willing to look at the game objectively and accept that there are good things about it, then you are no better than the weirdos who see nothing bad with it and think it's perfect. Don't be like them. Give credit where credit's due and move on. Trust me. It's healthier for you and the conversation if you accept what's in front of you and move on. Casuals don't care about numbers. I mean, how the fuck do you know that? Real casual players are actually more likely to care about numbers than you think. They don't want to have to struggle clearing Abyss or killing anything. They just want to hit a funny number, mow through things, and just enjoy themselves without thinking too much. With that being said, most people care about numbers. Just because you don't doesn't mean nobody else does. If you don't believe me, then I'm sure somewhere out there you can find one of those character revenue charts, and that'll show you that the meta characters make the most money. I saw this one a few times. If you want to offer alternative ideas, then shut up. You're just complaining. Yeah, I'm complaining. What the fuck about it? By that logic, then legitimately everyone, besides a handful of people, should shut up and keep their concerns to themselves. That's dumb and even worse for the game than just complaining. If you see something wrong, then you should just call it out. It's not that complicated. I'll be the first to admit, I'm not a very creative guy. So when I say this thing is bad and this thing should be changed, that's as far as I can go. I can sit here and show you that these things are predatory and you should watch out for this and that because they're trying to manipulate you into spending money because I'm a consumer and a player. I can tell something is shit when it's shit. Coming up with alternatives to these shitty systems isn't my or your job. We're players, not game developers. If we see something that is bad, we should call it out. That's it. And also, I've seen this one a few times. I don't have any screenshots of it, but I'm sure that you as well watching at home have seen it at some point, right? It'll be like, oh man, the monetization is really bad and there are a lot of things that are bad about this game. I wish they would get changed. And they always get people under that are like, oh, well, let's see you make your own game. How many games have you made? And that's real fucking stupid. Like extremely dumb. It's legitimately borderline fucking brain dead. You do not need to be, I'll put it to you this way, right? Let's say you go to a restaurant. You are served something completely fucking undercooked. That shit is damn near walking. And you tell the chef, hey, this shit is raw. Can you, put it back on the pan, just cook it a bit more and then bring it back to me? And they tell you, oh, well, what do you know? Are you a professional chef? I mean, of course you're not, but it doesn't take a fucking chef to know that you have undercooked meat or it's just completely fucking raw, right? You get what I'm saying? You don't need to be a pilot to see a helicopter in a fucking tree and know that something went wrong. You don't need to be a professional race car driver to see a fucking crashed car to know that something went awry. I mean, I'm not a professional, but I feel like something went wrong, right? This mentality is fucking stupid. Like I said before, we're players, not game developers. And because we play their fucking game, we understand what makes it good and what makes it bad. That's it. If you see something shit, call it out. And please, if you're one of those people that uses like this fucking, oh, well, let's see you make your own game. Shut the fuck up. This one. People who like combat events and want skip buttons should just quit because the game is focused on story. I don't even know why this mentality is so popular. Like, really? Do you really believe that? The game whose main source of revenue is creating new characters for you to gamble for and fight with every patch is focused on story? Really? If I'm remembering right, then aren't like Archon quests multiple months apart? Like that's the main fucking story that we're trying to follow, but they're completely fucking disconnected. The game whose main retention mechanic is drip feeding people limited currency to gamble and obtain new characters with is focused on story? Really? Don't lie to yourself. But more importantly, don't lie to me or the people who want more combat in the game or a skip button. Surprisingly enough, sitting through 1,000 paragraphs of a story you don't give a single shit about, or honestly just completely forgot about, is pretty boring. I know, it's fucking crazy. If the story is good, people will sit there and listen. The most recent story quest with, or at least most recent when I wrote the script, right? With Care Bear, or however you pronounce his name, and Ida, was legitimately interesting. Everywhere else in Sumer, though, I couldn't give any less of a shit. Especially that R&R quest. It was interesting at the beginning, but 6 hours in, I stopped giving a fuck, honestly. Give us a skip button. If you don't want to use it, then don't use it. Simple as that. I don't get why there's so much pushback to this fucking idea. Honkai has it, and honestly, Genshin wishes it had a story half as good as Honkai's. At least the protagonist actually fucking speaks over there. Or protagonists, plural. Obsession with views. Don't misunderstand the title. This isn't my obsession with views, it's other people's obsession with my views. I don't know where this group of pocket-watching losers come from. Maybe from TikTok, where everyone thinks they're the main character and people let their inflated numbers from a bunch of children with short attention spans get to their head because they're obsessed with internet fame. Or maybe it's just a bunch of weirdos who let numbers dictate what they believe. Whatever the case, whether I get 20 views or 20 billion, it doesn't change what I say, it doesn't change what I believe. I enjoy the things I do, even if it doesn't seem like that sometimes. And my enjoyment holds more value to me than numbers on a screen. Don't let meaningless metrics get in the way of your judgment or your opinions. That type of stuff will rot your brain before you know it. when you obsess so much over engagement, you tend to lose the message. Let me make something clear. I care about views. I don't obsess. If I told you I didn't care about views, I'd be straight up lying. If I really didn't care, I would have kept these videos to myself and never uploaded them. I know that lots of people believe negative, more critical videos on Genshin, like mine, are just being negative for the views, for attention. Believe me when I tell you, there is more views and attention to be gained from jerking off the game and bowing to Hoyo like a good little dog than by being critical of it. This community, again, quote unquote, likes to circle jerk, so it's simpler to join them and do the same than to go against that. I make videos on things that I love, things that I enjoy, things that I care about. Of course, that includes Genshin Impact. Sometime in the future, when I figure out how to structure it, I'm gonna make a video on Scarface The World Is Yours, a game on the PS2 that made me love video games. Do you know what game that is? Did you even know it existed? Did you even care? Probably not, but I do. And I will prioritize my enjoyment over numbers and approval from people I don't know. Understand this. I will make whatever the fuck I want, whenever the fuck I want, however the fuck I want. And honestly, none of you can do a fucking thing about that. Well, I mean, you can watch, but that's as far as you can go. That's all you can do. If you care about my views more than I do, then you've got bigger problems to worry about than me mocking a bunch of groupies and criticizing your favorite game. Fuck you. Ugh, that's pretty much the end. My throat's really going through it. Pause. Esperanza. This entire video, I've talked nothing but shit about most of the people who play the game, so what do I like? Quite a few things, actually. I've found many great artists while playing the game that are extremely good at what they do, and as always, I would really appreciate it if you could show them some support. Links will be down below. So, side note, you ever stop and think about how much power artists have? Like, I mean, legitimately, just slow down and think. They can just make art of whatever characters or ship they feel like, and they don't have to wait for someone else to make it or anything. Ain't that fucking crazy? I'm not a jealous guy. Well, that makes me sound like a jealous guy, but I'm not a jealous guy, okay? I wish I could do what they can, you know? Unfortunately, I don't have the patience or willingness to learn like them. Anyways, please, remember to show these artists some support, since art is one of the few things holding this community together. Also, be careful, if you're in public especially, since most, if not all of these artists have or will have some sort of NSFW art on their page. It's just a heads up. Watch out when you're opening this shit in public. So, something else I found while playing the game was a certain Twitter account that has made me laugh more times than I can count. A certain situation that this person had to go through a while back actually pissed me off, and initially, this video was going to have a huge part of it dedicated to explaining what happened and dragging the people who caused it to happen. I decided, though, that there was no point in mentioning the situation again, and I just cut that part out of the script. It's one of those, if you know type of things. I'll leave it at that. Give Ducky a follow if you want to laugh here and there. And if you're still kind of doubting me, right? If you remember, there was this huge, it was just fake fucking news, honestly. Ducky just made up some fake shit. She posted this picture of, it was like a, what's his name? Torta de Bistec, however you fucking say his name. That guy, it was a little character quote or a little message, whatever, that said the Shogun let Torta de Bistec come in and pick up Señora's ashes. That was just huge misinformation. It had no fucking, it had no backing at all. It had no source. But for some reason, everyone just fucking ate it up. She was the one that made it up. What else? What else has she done? Whenever Sumeru was being showcased, right, and then Candace's character art kind of showed up, and she had like the two colored eyes and stuff. She posted something. It was like, oh my god, she has heterophobia in her eyes or whatever. It was a play on words, right, on heterochromia from like the fucking multicolored eyes. That was her. She was the one that made it up. So, of course, like I said before, give Ducky a follow. It's pretty fucking funny. If not, then hey, we're all cool here. Just remember the artists, support them. Since we're in the hope section, let me tell you something that I'm hoping for. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna be here to witness this like at all, or probably not actually. Yeah, probably not. Arlequino better be part of the Fruit Platoon. With that cut, that fit, you gotta have at least a little rainbow in you, right? You gotta be one of the letters, one of them. Colombina y Arlequino better be an item. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm hoping for. Also, I hope she doesn't get señora'd. That'd make me fucking cry. I'm not kidding. If she's not playable, I'm gonna break down, all right? As of right now, she is the only character I'm looking forward to, and she's like 70 years away from release. If she is not playable and is not gayer than the pride flag, although with those looks I doubt she isn't, I will fucking riot. Anyways, Spread word of the Arlequino gay agenda far and wide. Hopefully she doesn't end up dead like pile of ashes over there. What else? I think that's it, actually. I guess I was lying to you when I said quite a few things I liked. My bad. Now, seriousness, though, I'm done. Everything I've ever wanted to say about the game and its community, I've said already. And this is where I leave it all to all of you. If you ever took anything that I said and learned from it, thank you. If you ever sat through one of the videos I've made even though you disagreed, thank you. To those of you who ignorantly left some of the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my comment section, thank you. Because of you, I didn't have to go out of my way to find people who think like you and say the things you do. All I had to do was click on my YouTube notifications and scroll. Take a look at this. Games should be made so straightforward and easy with no decisions to be made, and game creators should not make money. I didn't fucking say any of that. It's well known you can play to the end for free. I never said you couldn't. Resin was a CCP issue. No, it's not. Stamina systems have been in mobile games since fucking forever ago. You can get multiple constellations for 5 stars for free. I never said you couldn't. Currently, I do not know how Genshin can make a profit if they give everything for really cheap/free like you suggest. Stop me if you've heard this one before. I didn't say any of that. I even asked this person to show me where I said that, and they didn't answer, so take that for what you will. I'm not kidding. For your time, ignorance, and stupidity, as well as making my job easier, you just make it so easy to make fun of you. Thank you. If you ever left a long-ass comment detailing your experience with the game, adding to the points in the video, or refuting the things I said because you see things differently, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, as long as you were willing to listen and were open to understanding, thank you. You made all of this worth it. Whether you think what I say is right or wrong, it really doesn't matter. That conversation that happens when people agree or disagree and they just talk, that's the shit. That's exactly what Genshin needs to improve. When I made my Genshin is predatory video, I firmly believed that the entirety of the community was straight cooked. But reading the comments and seeing what you had to say changed my perspective, even if only by a little. Yeah, most of the community is fucking brainless and pretty embarrassing to exist alongside, but there are still people here who want change and are willing to speak out and do something. If you are one of those people who want change, then this next part is very specifically for you. The majority of the community will demand that you shut up if you're unsatisfied with the way you're being treated, and will tell you to just be grateful. Don't do that. Speak. Say what you want to say and encourage others to do so as well. The majority of the community will hate you for speaking your mind. They'll deem the criticisms you levy towards the game as hate and toxicity. Ignore them as best as you can. You don't need the respect or agreement from those types. It's fucking worthless. Those who are willing to listen and have an open mind will understand and, at the very least, will hear you out. I really do hope that people who are willing to speak up continue to exist. Otherwise, this community and this game are completely fucked. Like, absolutely, completely fucking screwed. As a wise sponge once said, talk your shit, king. Let your nuts hang. Oh, fuck. Hey, what about the ladies? Should I even make a joke about that? Talk your shit, queen. Let your titties hang? Yeah, that didn't sound right. Ovaries? Let your pussy hang? Yeah, that's not it. I'll stick with ovaries. Talk your shit, queen. Let your ovaries hang. Rah! I don't know when the next time I make a Genshin video will be. No, I do know I'm never going to make a video on this fucking game again. And I actually really like that thought. So, ladies and gentlemen, please take care of yourselves. Take care of your family. Love the people around you. And from me, from like the fucking deepest, shittiest part of my heart, thank you.
Let me die! Let me die! Let me die!